Game preservation got a massive W last week with the Stop Killing Games petition achieving the 1 million signatories threshold, but we talked about this at the tail end of last week. Organizer Ross Scott said, you know what, hey, we just need to go ahead and push this over the finish line just a little bit further, okay, because we need to double check, we need to make sure that there's no duplicate signatures, we need to make sure that all of them are valid and real before we present this to the EU. Which, simping for the EU or, looking for any sort of reprieve from a governmental body as corrupt as the EU. Not exactly something that I would normally be advocating for, but in this case, it's a worthwhile cause. And if we're sticking it to a corrupt AAA industry, the enemy of my enemy is my friend in this case. Okay, so the background on this, just in case you didn't watch, because I think I had this buried in with the Xbox layoffs video, but yeah, just a little bit of a refresher course, shall we? If you live in the gaming space, you'll likely have heard about the Stop Killing Games petition and the vocal majority, yes, looking to preserve games, thanks to the support of at least 1 million Europeans, okay, because there's many more around the world. It's just, if you're under the jurisdiction of the EU, you were the only ones that could properly sign up and endorse this petition, but it's going to have ripple effects, obviously. That's why so many people are talking about this, okay? The Stop Killing Games petition has hit its mark and could lead to better times. The Stop Killing Games petition is designed to preserve video games, okay? Here's the thing, with many titles resorting to online-only states of play, it means that if a company decides to shut down its servers, Anthem, looking at you, you can't play the game you paid for ever again. Yeah, exactly. Because, hey, you have Anthem, what is it, like midway through, right at the beginning? It's January of 2026. They're turning off the servers, meaning that if you bought a copy of Anthem, you will no longer be able to play it because it has always online capabilities and restrictions, rather, I guess is a more appropriate phrasing in this, meaning that you plop in the disc, you fire up your digital download of it, and you will never be able to experience or play the game at all whatsoever. When you made that purchase, you made an agreement with BioWare, with EA, which is folly in today's day and age, but you exchanged money for a good or a service in the hope that you would be able to play the game, okay? And they didn't say, hey, this is a subscription where you're going to get a set amount of time to play the game. No. They say, it's all online. It's a living, breathing experience, and you're going to be able to play it, okay? All you need to do is just, hook your console, your PC up to the internet, and frankly, it's already hooked up to the internet anyways, and it's just, as long as you have a connection, you can play the game. But now they're going to be turning off that connection, and even though there could theoretically be offline content for you to play, it doesn't matter, man. You got single-player missions that you want to do? Doesn't matter. No internet connection, no play for you. We've seen it last year with Concord as well, that didn't survive as long as the average life of a housefly, okay? Less than 2 weeks, that thing came, went, and has been mocked longer than it ever existed, which is hilarious to think about. But even though it was, a hero shooter, a squad-based play, but there was still some offline content that you could theoretically, some sick individual could still be playing to this very day, but they shut down the servers. Nobody's playing the game. But they at least offered full refunds for the game. That's not likely to happen with a lot of these games that just, their servers get turned off and you can just never play them again, even though they could still theoretically charge you for those games. Ross Scott, a gaming content creator, started the petition. It hit 800,000 signatures on July the 2nd and finally reached the total on July 8th. And it's well over. Okay, we got a link to the petition right here. No, but I think I see it, it's well over 1 million at this point in time. It's getting close to, or it might have even surpassed 1.2. There's no stopping this, okay? Now, the movement began in 2024, and the main's website states, Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers. An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support from the publisher ends. Yes, well over a year later, the main petition reached 1 million signatures, though through the European Citizens Initiative. Not only that, but the UK targeted petition aimed to bring this before the UK government has eclipsed its 100,000 signature goal too, standing at 130,000 signatures and counting. Oh, okay, so there's a UK spinoff to it as well. Cool. That means that the EU will likely address the matter, yes, and bring the legislation to counteract the practice of gaming publishers. Yes, there is a very strong chance that the European Commission will pass a new law that will both protect consumer rights to retain video games that customers have purchased and advance preservation efforts massively. Yeah, exactly, because what Ross and the Stop Killing Games initiative is pushing for is to just simply, okay, we're not going to force any of these studios. Like, if you don't want to support the game going forward, yeah, that's totally fine, man. Like, we're not going to force you to keep the servers going, but at least let fans start up fan servers for it. Okay, like if you have the ability to turn off the always online component but still leave the single player, the offline content available, can you just go ahead and do that? That would be great. You already made your buck off of it. And if you're going to leave it out there, for the world to purchase, or instead of just, effectively breaking the content, breaking the game the moment that you turn off all online connectivity, if you can just flick a switch, can you just go ahead and do us a solid on that one? Or even if you want to just go ahead, even if you just simply want to have your always online, your live service game, at least tell us, okay? Give us a heads up that, yeah, this thing's going to be running for X amount of days, or we're going to give you this much heads up, and there's going to be either a refund or there's going to be some sort of make good policy at the end of this. Can we just go ahead and get that? Because that's totally fine. At least in my opinion, I think that's the right way to go about this, but that's a conversation that we're eventually going to get to, because now the rebuttals are happening. And yeah, Video Games Europe, the biggest collection of European-based game studios, or at least their European outlets, have spoken out. And yeah, it's going to start to get messy here, kids. Video Games Europe issues a statement on Stop Killing Games movement. Yes, a huge collaboration, a huge conglomeration of AAA studios. Basically everybody that you can think of, all of the big studios that are out there, and they're not happy. Spoilers. Video Games Europe has released a statement following the successful Stop Killing Games movement, which has passed over 1 million signatures. It has surpassed 1.2 million signatures at the time of writing, and aims to stop publishers from taking games offline. Campaign's creator, Ross Scott, urges this practice as a form of planned obsolescence, and not only detrimental to customers, but makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of this practice is largely untested in many countries. Following the campaign's smashing the record, Video Game Europe has issued the following statement. We appreciate the passion of our community. Okay, it's not your community, because if you were listening to the passion of your community, you would have done something before this ended up going global. However, the decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online experience is no longer commercially viable. Which, yeah, totally fine with. I'm not here to pressure you. It's not like those freaks that think that healthcare is a human right, so you're going to theoretically hold a doctor at gunpoint to perform a surgery. Yeah, I don't think so, man. Nobody's saying that you have to keep servers open for like NBA 2K9. Like nobody's making you do that, okay? We just want the ability to, play a game offline, or have the ability to have fans set up servers to do this stuff. Your input, not really necessary, okay? We understand that it can be disappointing for players, but yeah, when it does happen, the industry ensures that the players are given fair notice and the prospective changes in compliance with local consumer protection laws. Interesting. Private servers are not always a viable alternative option for players, as the protections we put in place to secure players' data, remove illegal content, and combat unsafe community content would not exist and would leave rights holders liable. Yeah, but if you're going to be abandoning a game, and then it's up to fans and supporters of said product to set up their own servers, their private servers, the onus falls on them to police those servers, so you're kind of setting up a straw man that doesn't make any sense. In addition, many titles are designed from the ground up to be online only. In effect, these proposals would curtail developer choice. Oh, now we care about developer choice? By making these games prohibitively expensive to create. That's hilarious, man. We welcome the opportunity to discuss our position with policymakers and those who have led the European Citizens Initiative in the coming months. So yeah, this is going to get very contentious, because this is a very, very, very powerful conglomerate, which includes these companies. Okay, yeah, Activision, Blizzard, Epic Games, EA, Bandai Namco, Microsoft, Netflix, Nintendo, Sony. Is Sony in there? Yeah, Sony Games. Okay, Square Enix, Supercell, Take-Two, ZeniMax. It's the heavy hitters, man. And they're not going to go down swinging, because they want to reserve the right to fuck you in the ass the moment that you open up their wallet to them. So long story short, and if you want a bulletproof way to avoid having your pockets turned out by these scummy companies, stop supporting them. Stop supporting AAA games. Let that industry burn down because they're doing an excellent job self-applying gasoline. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.